Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, great. If he doesn't, then I guess we'll wait for him tomorrow night. We're not going to waste too much time. We got a lot to cover here tonight, more than usual, guys. So, with that said, we're just going to start off with NXT, and we started off with the Global Heritage Invitational Final. Joe Coffey versus Butch. And when it was all said and done, winner of the bout, 12 minutes and 42 seconds, was Butch. Butch wins the Global Heritage Invitational, which means he will get to fight for the Heritage Cup on Saturday against Noam Dar. Look, this was a very good matchup. I would say about three and a half stars. Look, they utilized the time really well. The action was amazing, and the outcome was perfect. So, I really got nothing more to add. I'm so happy for Butch. Winning the tournament was incredible. And yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony Florio, it is yours. 3.5 stars. Butch wins the Global Heritage Invitational.
3.5 stars. Butch versus Joe delivered as expected, though this could not live up to the Brawling Brutes' previous performances with Axiom and Tyler Bate. That mainly comes down to structure, as this felt too much like a showcase rather than a heated battle. Story of the match was inconsistent, but still, this still ranks among the best matches Joe Coffey has had in NXT. He was clearly the focal point of the action. It looked more like the NXT UK destroyer he used to be. At the end of the day, Butch needed this win. It's likely his NXT run will end after No Mercy, so the brand needs to use him to his fullest. He will push Noam Dar to a career highlight match Saturday night. 3.5 stars. MF set me up for the next whatever relevant thing is.
Well, this one it's going to be a cutaway, and it was Trick Williams versus Joe Gacy. Trick Williams winning the match in 2 minutes and 26 seconds. No. So now we do indeed move on. Then we had Josh Briggs versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin in 301. I'm not going to really have to talk about that one either. Then we got Bronco Lima and Lucian Prince. They went up against Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. That was basically Price and Lima 248. I don't know if you want to go with that, Florio, but we'll move on. Here we go. Strap match. As it was, Eddie Thorpe going one-on-one with Dijak. Eddie Thorpe winning the match in 10 minutes and 9 seconds. Florio, it's yours.
3 1/4. It took a while for the crowd to get into this one, but Eddie Thorpe woke them up when he got control. However, this couldn't help a match that never quite reached the brutal heights expected from the build. The two used the strap consistently as a weapon, but could have gotten more creative. The ceiling for this was matching Dijak versus Ilya Dragunov. Instead, it was an okay stipulation bout that felt short despite its 10-minute runtime. It looks as though the feud isn't over, but there is hardly anything left to accomplish. Eddie Thorpe got a definitive win. Unless they are going to do another NXT Underground match, there is not much more they can do to raise the stakes. 3 1/4. MF, your thoughts?
All right, fair enough. Normally you would. All right, 3. I agree with that. 3 stars is my rating for it as well. It was a solid match nonetheless, but yeah, like you said, the right man won, so we just move on. Next up we had was Thea Hale versus Danny Palmer. Thea Hale wins in 2:22, and it leads us to the main event of the evening, as it was a fatal 4-way for the number 1 contendership for Dominic Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio's North American Championship. Axiom, Dragon Lee, Tyler Bate, Trick Williams. Trick Williams wins it all. 10 minutes and 59 seconds. He gets the shot at Dirty Dom. This is a fine main event. As far as the match goes, this was a fine main event. Good matchup, to say the very least. I really enjoyed it. Nothing more to add. So, yeah, I think it was very good. And I have to say, solid main event. 3.5 stars. So, Anthony, it is yours.
This chaotic fatal four-way could have anyone's way, but Trick Williams fell onto Axiom in the ring to take a surprise 3 as Dragon Lee and Tyler Bate wiped each other out on the outside. Here we go. This was the NXT of the last couple months. Everyone delivered in this bout, selling the importance of the moment. Trick Williams was the center of the story here, desperate to win his first title opportunity. However, he was outmatched by the pure athleticism of his impressive competitors. Luckily, he was the right man in the right spot at the end. While Tyler Bate and Axiom deserve a shot of their own, Trick had the easiest story to tell with Dom, since Dragon Lee could not finish the job yet. The crowd will completely buy into Trick beating Dirty Dom, whether it happens or not. Well, only time will tell come Saturday night. So 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. So with that, MF set me up for the.
It was the contract signing. Yes. Give me your thoughts. Ilya Dragunov and Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, as they made it official for their NXT World Title fight.
Solid closing statement before Saturday's bout, though it could have been bigger. Melo could not quite sell himself as vulnerable, going back into his usual routine quickly. The Mad Dragon is the best opponent of the A Champion's career. The two will deliver again at No Mercy. The question is, will they deliver more than they did at the Great American Bash? Only time will tell on that. So, solid closing statement. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, solid closing statement. I thought they did a really good job with it. I thought they did all right with it. I definitely enjoyed the body of work and enjoyed everything that went down. So, yeah, solid, and nothing more to say. So, as far as overall review, it was all right. I'm not going to say it was the worst thing in the world. It could have been better in certain areas, but, for what it was worth, I could give this a Paxton grade. I could give maybe 6 at least. So, Anthony, it's yours.
It's about 6.5 for me. NXT had a string of big shows recently, and it was inevitable that a down week was coming. It's disappointing this go-home show lacked the hype necessary to push No Mercy over the top. Butch versus Joe Gacy was good, but not great, leaving the best moment of the Global Heritage Invitational in the final group round the previous week. Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe also did not deliver on the hype. Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton did not appear live. Dominic Mysterio was only a pre-taped interview. Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov delivered a basic contract signing at the end of a limited rematch build. Most of the night was highlighted by squash matches that did not elevate the winners. If it wasn't for the outstanding Fatal 4-Way main event, the entire show would have delivered nothing worth revisiting. The only feud NXT really committed to build in the last week was Baron Corbin versus Braun Breaker, but the backstage brawl could not make up for a lack of heat over the last month. No Mercy will make up for this easily, but that doesn't take away the sense of disappointment here. 6.5, MF AEW Dynamite. Let's go.
All right, we started off with the International Championship, Rey Fenix. Well, first off, it was from Broomfield, Colorado, at the First Bank Center. And we started off with Rey Fenix versus Jeff Jarrett for the International Championship. Rey Fenix winning the match in 8 minutes and 15 seconds. 2.5 stars. Fine opening fight. There was really nothing more to say. It was as solid of a match that you can do. And, really nothing more to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. It was not particularly great. The match was an overbooked mess with two styles that could not have been any more different. It was the definition of two wrestlers being on different pages, and it showed, as did hints of a potential knee injury suffered by the champion. If that were the case, it is understandable that things would have been disjointed to the extent that they were. This was a showcase for the new champion, Rey Fenix, but it was not a particularly effective one. This was not a hit, nor a particularly great way to kick off the show. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for this, so there isn't much more to say on this. So, MF, next relevant thing, hit me up.
All right, let's see here. All right, after that, all right, so next up we had was Brian, all right, so we had Nick Jackson, Brian Cage, and Claudio Castagnoli. The winner of the bout would get an opportunity at the International Championship when it was all said and done, winner of the bout, let's see, in roughly 9 minutes, Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. Anthony, it's yours.
Here's the caveat here. Nick Jackson defeated former Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli and the Machine Brian Cage to earn a shot at Rey Fénix in the International Championship on next week's Dynamite 4th anniversary broadcast. Like the opener, styles clashed, but unlike the opener, this worked. Nick Jackson and Claudio Castagnoli working together to halt the ferocity of Cage was a nice touch, as was Jackson stealing the win from his bigger opponents. As Excalibur pointed out on commentary, there is a rich history between Jackson and Fénix, dating back to 4 years ago, early in the Dynamite run. As ridiculous as a Jackson singles run seems, unless you are an unabashed fan of the Young Bucks, that is, it at least makes sense that they would compete against each other on a landmark show. So we'll see how that goes. That's got banger potential, so not much more to say here. A solid 3 stars for the effort. Surprise outcome. I thought Claudio was going to win it, to be honest with you.
I thought so too.
Considering that he just dropped the Ring of Honor world title to Eddie Kingston last week at Grand Slam, but no, Nick Jackson gets the Duke and he gets Rey Fénix. So we'll see what happens. 3 stars, MF. Your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars, solid match. I'm thoroughly impressed with everything that went down, but there's really you kind of have to question where the road's gonna lead now. So we'll see. So next up we had was Penta El Zero Miedo, Matt Jackson, Orange Cassidy, and Austin Gunn. Each member is going to be in a fatal 4-way tag team fight where the winners gets a title shot down the line. That will be going down this Sunday night at the Super Show. So at the Star Dream, the big event that they got coming up. But tonight, Orange Cassidy wins wins the match, 12 minutes and 25 seconds. I could say another 3-star bout. I mean, it was fine. Everybody did their parts really well. At the end, I was majorly surprised that they were going to give it to Orange Cassidy. But the thing is that normally these type of fights, it's hard to predict. But I kind of feel like when it's all said and done, either the Guns are going to win it or even the Young Bucks are going to win it. I just don't see Lucha Bros getting it, or I don't see Orange Cassidy or Hook to get it. It's just a feel-good win. Gives them a little bit of that momentum, but I just don't believe that momentum will carry much more further than what it just did. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours, 3 stars.
3.5 for me. A non-stop action-packed match saw Matt Jackson look to replicate his brother's success from earlier in the night, but ultimately ate an orange punch from Orange Cassidy, who earned the hard-fought win. It was the right call creatively for Cassidy to win here. He and Hook have the least experienced team, having competed on just one occasion. Even if it isn't a 4-way singles match here, Cassidy winning allows them to build some momentum ahead of this tag team of this 4-way tag bout. That almost certainly eliminates them from actually winning Sunday night in Seattle. But there are not many chomping at the bit for a match between them and FTR. So there isn't not much more for me to say here. Solid 3.5 stars. So MF, we move on to women's action.
Julia Hart going one-on-one with Willow Nightingale. Julia Hart winning the match in 8 minutes and 5 seconds.
2.5, 2 3/4. Julia Hart continued her monumental run, and built momentum for herself along the way, ensuring she entered Sunday's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view in a TBS championship match against Chris Statlander with momentum on her side. It would have been nice to have Julia Hart appearing as an in-ring competitor more consistently over the last 17 months and meant more to the push she finds herself in at this point, but she has been heated up nicely over the last month and enters Seattle for the biggest match of her career against the last woman to defeat her on April 25th of last year. If nothing else, it is a story that is based in fact and gives gravity to what on paper initially looked like a random match. So I know we'll have more to say on this Saturday night on the Cerebral Smack Talk, but for right now, this was a 2.5, 2 3/4 star bout. I'm not surprised Julia won. They got to give her the momentum going into the big match. And MF Sunday, the biggest match of Julia Hart's career. Could it lead to the biggest win of her career if she walks out TBS champion?
Well, we'll have to wait and see how it goes, but definitely no doubt about it. Solid match, good battle. 2.5 to 3 is my rating for it as well. It was fine for what it was worth. It was a solid main event. Like I said, nothing more to add there. All right, so then we had contract signing between Cowboy Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I thought it was fine. I liked it. Was longer than what it needed to be. The promos were pretty strong, so I really got nothing bad to say there. At the end of the day, it was solid for what it was worth, and so nothing more to add. Anthony, final thoughts?
So much of what Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland accomplished in the weeks leading into Wrestle Dream was so good that there were heightened expectations for this contract signing segment. Got to be the man who tells it like it is. It was a disappointment. The content was not as good. Both men appeared to be telling different stories early, and Hangman had to tie everything together before the red-hot conclusion to his promo. Perhaps the program blew through its best stuff early, but this was hardly the segment that would have sold the match between them that the previous two interactions did. So that's all we can really say on this. So overall review, well, the intent was there for a show that hammered home the significance of Sunday's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view, but it did not always land. A large portion of tonight's show was devoted to MJF, his program with Adam Cole, and the start of his feud with Jay White. Outside of the Adam Cole stuff, which directly affected the tag team match against the Righteous for the Ring of Honor tag titles, nothing about that segment had any real implication on the pay-per-view. The segments that did were solid, if unspectacular. And the result is a Wrestle Dream card that looks fantastic on paper, but feels like it lacks the hype and excitement surrounding it that it should have. 7.5 is my rating. MF, your overall review, and then we'll get into whatever we're going to do next.
Yeah, 7.5 is my rating as well. So it was a solid show, and we'll just move on. All right, we're going to go very quickly here as we're now going to get into Thursday Night Football. Streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime Video, and of course for all you Twitch subscribers, Twitch actually will show the game a simulcast of the game that'll be going down on Thursday night, and of course you know the crew: Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung, and for all you fans on Westwood One that wants to listen to this on radio, it's our good friend Iron Eagle and Joe Thomas that does the game between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, going down from the, well, not yet frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. This is a big one, guys. This is going to be a big battle, to say the very least. Anthony will hit you with the schematics in just a minute about the history of these two teams and the whole 9 yards. But I will do this because, I kind of need to throw this out there for the whole world to know. And that is that in this game coming up on Sunday, the Detroit Lions is a very small favorite, 1.5 as of right now, 1.5 to 2, with the over-under at 45.5. Now, going into this game, there's some uncertainty about certain players. Both teams currently at 2-1 going into this matchup, and it's going to be very interesting to watch. This is an exciting Thursday night game. This is going to be a good one. No doubts in my mind. So, if you would have told me at the very beginning between Detroit and Green Bay who I was going to pick, believe it or not, I was going to say Detroit. at the very beginning. So I would have gone with Detroit to win the game, and that would have been that. But Green Bay showed me something about a week ago, and that was that, this is a resilient team. They just got off a monster win over the New Orleans Saints. I don't think anybody expected that outcome. They came back from 17 down to win the game, 18-17, scoring their 18 points in the fourth quarter, thanks to, you guessed it, Jordan Love coming back from what was a very shaky performance early in the game, finishing with 259 yards and a touchdown on 22 of 44 passing, and it was an unbelievable comeback of the ages for them. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out now. But I kind of have to feel like Green Bay's gonna win this. Being at home, that momentum that they got. But don't sleep on Detroit. Detroit is definitely an amazing team. This is not the same old Lions like we were always poking fun at, making jokes about. No, this time around, this is brand new Lions. And the Lions squad makes them very vulnerable, very valuable, an amazing squad. And would I be stunned if Detroit wins this game? Absolutely not. But I feel like Green Bay has my vote here, and I believe that he'll win it. So I really got nothing more to say. It is done. I got the Green Bay Packers winning this game. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
All right. Detroit opening up as a 1.5-point favorite, as MF mentioned. For those of you who don't have Amazon, well, this is only for the people of Detroit and Green Bay. For the people of Detroit, you can watch the game on your local Fox affiliate, which is WJBK Fox Channel 2 in Detroit. Green Bay, you can watch the game on your local NBC affiliate, WGBA NBC Channel 26 in Green Bay. And wait, there's more. The people of Milwaukee, which as we all know is Algonquin for the good land, according to Alice Cooper and good old MF Michael Fletcher. Milwaukee, people of Milwaukee, which is also, like a suburb of Green Bay, if you think about it, even though Milwaukee's the big city. You can watch the game on, for the people of Milwaukee, you can watch the game on your Fox affiliate, WITI Fox Channel 6 in Milwaukee. So those are for the people of Detroit and Green Bay only. Everybody else, you got to have Amazon Prime Video. If you don't, well, you're out of luck. So, all right. A lot of history between these two. These are longtime division rivals going all the way back to 1930. 1930. That's the first time they met. Their very first meeting, as a matter of fact, was at Lambeau Field. And here you go, MF. They've met twice in the playoffs. But as far as the regular season goes, this is going to be their 186th meeting. Green Bay leads the all-time series. Listen to these numbers. Green Bay leads the all-time series 103-75 with 7 ties. How about that? Believe it or not, MF, I know you're leaning towards Green Bay here, but here's the thing. Detroit's actually won the last 3 meetings in a row against Green Bay, including last year at Green Bay, 20-16. Green Bay's last win at home against Detroit was the year before, 2021. That was a 35-17 win. So Detroit coach Dan Campbell is 3-1 against the Packers, and that includes last year's 20-16 victory at Lambeau Field. The last 3 meetings were decided by a combined total of 16 points. Jordan Love and Jared Goff each have been sacked only 3 times this season. How much will Green Bay's Rashawn Gary and Detroit's Aiden Hutchinson change that? Love's development has been impressive, but this will be another teaching moment in a tight game. With all due respect, MF, I disagree with you. I actually have the Detroit Lions winning this game. My final score, 24-21. Detroit steals another one at Lambeau. And let's not forget, this is a caveat here. Sole possession of first in the NFC North to the winner. Because remember, Chicago and Minnesota are both 0-for.
Yep.
And we'll talk more about those two on Friday night. For right now, Detroit wins 24-21, takes over first, sole possession of first in the NFC North, or the NFC Norris, in the immortal words of Chris Berman.
So, Chris Berman, yes, indeed.
Yep, NFL primetime. So there isn't much more to say here. MF, we got one last order of business, only because we have the college football show tomorrow night, the NFL show on Friday. We have no place else to put this, so NXT No Mercy. Let's get into it.
All right, so we're going to start off, and we got a fatal four-way for the NXT Tag Team Championship, as it is going to be the family putting the titles on the line versus OTM, the Creed, and Los Lotharios. I just don't see how the family doesn't keep the titles. I mean, right now, with everything that was going on, I don't. I just have to think that it is what it is. So at the end of the day, I'll go that way. So I'll say the family successfully defends the titles. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. I got the family successfully defending the titles as well. So should be a fun, interesting match. But I gotta go with Tony D and Stacks to keep the titles for now. So that being said, MF, let's move on to the next match.
All right. With that said, it's gonna be for the North American Championship, as it will be Dirty Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams. Something I just noticed just now, thanks to Wikipedia, Dragon Lee will serve as special guest referee. Anthony, it's yours.
I got to go with Trick. I mean, I think I'm calling a new champ. I think this is where Dom's run ends. And like I said during our NXT review, I think they're very high on Trick Williams right now. And I think they're setting it up for possibly him and Mello to be double champions. So I think it's going to be a solid match here. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to have a new NXT North American champion, and his name is Trick Williams. MF, your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's going to be Trick. I think they're grooming him to be the next champion. Look, they're not ready to bring him to the main roster. Not yet. So I think Trick gets the job done. I think Trick wins it all. And then from there, we move on. So next up, we do have Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's title. Tiffany Stratton to go one-on-one with the reigning champion, Becky Lynch. Right now, I got to say it's Becky. I kind of feel like at the moment, they're building her to definitely keep the title, to hold on to it for a little while longer because of the fact of everything going on. I don't think they have anything to work with at the moment. So I say she successfully defends the title. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Becky Lynch will defeat Tiffany Stratton to retain the NXT Women's title. The biggest draw in the women's division just won her first NXT Women's title in her career that finalized her Grand Slam achievement. She's not losing yet. Also, from both the business perspective, she adds so much value to the women's division as the champion altogether by giving the division more spotlight with more eyes in the product. Tiffany will get written off and called up to the main roster, whilst Becky potentially elevates Blair Davenport down the line as the next top heel in NXT. So winner and still the NXT Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. MF, set me up for the next match.
Next up, we got is a one-on-one match. It's Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. Anthony, it's yours.
Braun Breaker will defeat Baron Corbin because Corbin is a free agent who won't be winning any matches on big events. Just like Von Wagner, he is merely being fed to Breaker so that Breaker can continue his momentum as a top heel in the division. I'm hopeful he'll get called up soon. Braun Breaker wins. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, Braun Breaker wins. I'm not going to waste any more time. Next up we got is a British rounds match for the NXT Heritage Cup, as it is Butch. He's going to go one-on-one with the current holder, Noam Dar, and this is going to be a tight fight. This one's going to be a really good match. I kind of feel like Noam Dar is going to win it. I think what Butch is going to do is going to make this match really competitive, but I think this is going to go all the way to the end. I think it'll go up to like the sixth and final round, and then that's when Noam Dar gets the job done and successfully defends the cup. So I got Noam Dar successfully defending the cup, but winning it at the end in the sixth and final round. So Anthony, it's yours.
I disagree. I think Butch is going to win it. Butch will dethrone Noam Dar to win the NXT Heritage Cup Championship because the Brawling Brutes have nothing substantial to do on SmackDown other than job to other teams. They may as well come. They might as well come to NXT and brawl with other factions like Metaphor and Gallus for solid bangers. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say Butch wins it. But I would not at all be surprised if Noam Dar retains. So Butch wins the NXT Heritage Cup. So MF, I believe it's main event time.
It is main event time for the NXT title. It is Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. So Anthony, it's yours.
Although Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton would be a solid main event due to the special stipulation of Extreme Rules, NXT will likely stick to tradition and main event the show with the NXT World title. They will likely do that because a huge title change is coming here. Last time these two fought was at NXT Great American Bash, where Carmelo Hayes retained in a spectacular match with a slight tease of Trick Williams betraying Carmelo Hayes. Now it's time for Ilya Dragunov to get his win back and win NXT's top prize thanks to Trick Williams finally pulling the trigger on his heel turn. Winner and new NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov, MF taking home.
Wow, I did not see that coming from you. But you make some valid points, but I don't think they're going to pull the trigger just yet. I think we're going to have is Carmelo Hayes as champion, Trick Williams as NXT North American champion, and then maybe a little bit down the line, then we're going to see the turn. I don't think they'll turn them yet. I think they'll keep them united and everything else. So for now, I disagree. I think the A champ, Carmelo Hayes, successfully defends the title. So that's it. We're done. We're out of here. Tomorrow night is TXN Sports World present College Football Thursday. And oh my goodness, do we have a show for you. So Anthony Flair, why don't you come on in and why don't you drop us with the setup for tomorrow night?
Absolutely. Tomorrow night we have the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And, well, I'll be honest with you. Smorgasbord Saturday last week, with the exception of a couple of games, didn't quite live up to the hype, if I'm going to be honest with you. But we have another round of exciting games to address, including, get this, MF, a rare Friday night game. Yeah, we got a Friday night game on the docket, believe it or not. But it's a good one. We got Utah against Oregon State. That's a big one right there. Other notable games that we're going to be getting into. How about USC against Colorado? Can Colorado bounce back after they got embarrassed by Oregon? And we got some sleeper games on tap. How about Florida against Kentucky? That's a game to keep an eye on. Georgia and Auburn. Do I even need to hype up their history? MF, you're going to love this one. Your boys, the Texas Longhorns, hosting the number 24 Kansas Jayhawks. Huge game in the Big 12 right there. Big SEC matchup, LSU against Ole Miss. We got South Carolina against Tennessee. Alabama goes up against Mississippi State. Washington and Arizona, there's another sleeper matchup. Oklahoma hosting Iowa State. But MF, if I'm going to be honest with you, with all due respect, the game of the week for this week, the biggest game in the history of Duke football. When the Duke Blue Devils are at home, and they will host the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, a reeling Notre Dame Fighting Irish team that literally got their hearts ripped out by the Ohio State University Buckeyes.
But you have to admit, that was a 5-star, and that was a 5-star classic. That was a hell of a game. And let me tell you, you got nothing to hang your hat on that one. You got nothing to be ashamed of. That was a hell of a game. We'll definitely get into that. We'll do it. We'll do it at 10:30 tomorrow night on the Tone 25 on Anthony's page on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Friday night is NFL Friday. Saturday is Cerebral Smack Talk, and then we do it all over again on Monday night with Ridiculously Ross. So yeah, with that said, we're out of here. So for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much, guys. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night for College Football Thursday. Until then, I am Golden F. Michael Fletcher saying so long, everybody.
Goodbye.